Hello, Shiva.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing well too. Thanks for taking time to talk to
Yeah,
us.
and thanks for this opportunity as well.
Good. It's my pleasure. Please allow me to introduce you to our viewers. Shiva Kumar Barathi completed his master's in business intelligence and analytics from Stephen Institute of Technology last year. Since then, he has been working as a data science machine learning engineer at Verizon Wireless. He worked with us for his application for Chicago Booth Weekend MBA program and has been recently accepted into the program. This conversation today, Shiva talks about his background, planning for MBA, career goals, GMAT prep, application strategy, planning, challenges he faced during the application process, work-life school balance, and thoughts on impact of COVID-19 on MBA experience. Congratulations on receiving admit offer from Chicago Booth Weekend MBA program. How does it
Thank,
feel?
thank you, ma'am. I know it's been a long path, but I'm really excited that I got an admit from one of M7 business schools in United States. To be honest, my wife still couldn't believe her eyes that I got an admit from Chicago Booth, but said that um, this wouldn't have been possible without her immense support. So I owe her a lot, and to my family, especially my dad, is really excited with this admit. So pretty much, I'm happy with that.
Of course, they are proud of you. I'm proud of you too. So, could you please tell our viewers about yourself, where you are from, where and what did you study as an undergrad, and what do you do now?
Sure, ma'am. So I'm a data savvy person with 10 years of professional experience in providing robust data engineering solutions to clients across industries such as insurance, investment banking, and telecommunications. I'm from Chennai, India, and I completed my undergrad in electronics and communication back in 2008. And by end of 2014, I came to United States through Cognizant Technology Solutions on a work visa.
Mhm.
Last year, May, I completed my master's in business intelligence and analytics from Stevens Institute with a GPA of 3.97 out of 4. And because of which I was invited to be a part of Beta Gamma Sigma, a prestigious business academic society. Since then, I've been working with Verizon as a machine learning engineer, where I primarily deploy propensity machine learning models that help wireless consumer business to better understand the customers and deliver better targeted promotions. So that's all about me, right?
Thank you. When did you start thinking about MBA? Why now?
Um, Actually, the idea of doing an MBA was in the back of my mind since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, at the time, I really didn't have a proper reasoning or justification for doing an MBA at the time, but I was progressing in my career from technical standpoint. And once I joined Verizon, that's when I felt I need to have a career pivot in another 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Now, if I just continued with my career without doing an MBA, I might get into a data science manager position in another 5 to 7 years. Um, uh, and I might be leading a team and I might be an expert in data science, but I'll be pretty much settled in that low ceiling. I will not have an opportunity to get into the leadership ladder within this field of data analytics if I'm not doing MBA without an MBA.
Right.
Now, to get into that leadership ladder, within the field of data analytics, I need to have a deep understanding of each business function within the entire organization. And of course, I need to have a strategic and analytic mindset to deliver robust data analytics solutions to different business functions. So given my age, my experience, and my career goals, I feel this is the right time to get the coveted MBA degree.
I understand. So what are your career objectives?
So, sorry, ma'am?
To be specific, what are your career objectives? Like,
So
goals?
in next, sure. So in next 2 to 3 years, I wanted, after my MBA, I wanted to lead a team of data scientists and engineers, providing robust data analytics solutions to various business functions, especially supply chain, finance, and marketing. The pinnacle of my career will be a position in executive leadership. In particular, I'm looking forward for Chief Data and Analytics Officer. That's in another 10 to 15 years. So in another 10 to 15 years, I envision of leading and inspiring a team of data engineer, data scientist specialists, uh, creating an information advantage and converting complex findings into relevant and actionable deliverables. So in that position within that company, I, with my unique fusion of data science knowledge as well as the strategic leadership traits, which I'll be getting at Booth, I want to make the company more data driven, digitally adapt, and better prepared to face the challenges of the future. So that's my long-term career goal.
Yeah, you're pretty articulate about your career goals, even long-term vision. You have a very clear idea about that. So you
Thank you, ma'am.
applied only to one school, Booth. How is Booth the best school for you?
So there are two main reasons why I wanted to do an MBA from Booth. One, because of the Booth's educational philosophy, what they call it as the Chicago approach. So as my MBA will be rooted into the fundamentals of business, such as accounting, economics, psychology, sociology, and statistics, this framework or this approach will teach me how to think. It's actually not the direct knowledge it's going to convey per se, but it will teach me how to ask better questions, how to evaluate the evidences, how to have an enduring strategic and analytic framework to organize my thoughts, and of course, how to get better solutions. So that's one primary reason why I want to do an MBA at Chicago Booth. The second is the flexibility in the curriculum, what Booth provides, and the variety of concentrations. In particular, I'm looking for concentrations of strategic management and behavioral sciences. And I'm really interested of that particular concentration of behavioral sciences because that's something it's in line with my long-term goals. The reason I'm saying is, as a leader in the field of data analytics, one of my primary responsibility will be to make data analytics as part of every business function's decision making.
Wow.
So my success in achieving it will be dependent on my understanding of the behavioral nature of the organization, such as individuals' roles, interpersonal relationships, and group dynamics. So basically, I need to master the organizational dynamics. So courses as part of this particular concentration of behavioral sciences, such as processes of negotiations and managerial management in organizations. So those are really top two courses which are offered as part of this concentration. So these courses will help me to understand human behavior better from managerial context. So because of the philosophy, as well as because of the flexibility and the wide range of courses what Booth offers, those are the two reasons why I really wanted to do an MBA at Booth.
Great. So coming back to the application prep, Can you tell us something about your GMAT prep? What challenges did you face with GMAT prep and how did you overcome them?
Sure. So mm, I took GMAT twice, and my last attempt was way long back. It was around August 2016.
Uh-huh.
So from the start, I was really good at quant. So in my mocks, I was scoring around 49 and 50, and I was pretty comfortable with the quant section. And I was solving a lot of problems from GMAT Club website, and it was a really good website where I got a lot of trickier questions, and it really sharpened my quant skills. My I would say that my Achilles heels was always verbal,
Yeah.
because in particular I was struggling with reading comprehension and time management within the verbal section. So initially I started off with Manhattan prep, but for me it really didn't help me out. So I thought of using specialized courses or companies, GMAT prep companies, to focus on each of verbal sections. So for instance, for critical reasoning, I was using PowerScore Bible. That book was really great. It helped me to tackle any question, critical reasoning question,
Mm-hmm.
with a proper structured format, in a proper structured format. So that was really helpful. And for sentence correction, uh, okay, there was a company called eGMAT. So they have a process, three-step process for solving sentence correction questions.
Mm-hmm.
That After following that particular process, I really felt comfortable in solving sentence corrections. Now, when it comes to reading comprehension, I couldn't pinpoint a particular book or a particular prep company. But what I felt was, when I kept on practicing, I improved a lot. But to be honest, not to the mark what I wanted to improve actually. Even my final verbal score was really not the score what I want,
Right.
but that's something helped me to get into booth. So I'm really happy with that. Now, one last thing is the time management, which I had a tough time in managing in verbal section actually. So, but with quant section, I was able to complete the intersection with around 5 to 8 minutes to spare. So I didn't have issues with quant, but it came to verbal, it really messed up. So what I did was, after my first attempt, uh, once in every 2 weeks, I started to take full mock exam with proper exam like settings. And that actually helped me to improve my time management within the adverse section. So those are the things which I used for my GMAT.
Yeah. Even if you didn't get your desired verbal score, you still got into both. So that's what
Yeah.
the end result was good. Can you share your application strategy, planning, and preparation with our readers, viewers?
Mm. So, so according to me, okay, so basically I started thinking of booth around May 2020, and hardly had only 4 weeks of time to submit my application. And I was lucky enough that Booth has extended its last application deadline from from June 1st to July 1st. So I even approached you around end of May. So I hardly had 4 weeks to put in my best application on it. So according to me, I felt the admission committee is interested to look into two main aspects. One, whether I'm very clear or very articulate enough to put in my short-term and long-term goals, and how an MBA from a business school will help me to attain those goals. So I need to prove a point to them that there is nothing else other than GMAT, other than MBA, which will help me to attain those goals. So that's something I wanted to prove to them. Now, second, I felt the admissions committee wanted to see whether I'm a good fit to their community, because they wanted to know what I bring to the table. And as an applicant with my knowledge and experience, how I could play an active role to their community. So those are the two things I wanted to tackle as part of the application. So for the second one, for the fit of the community, first I wanted to understand how their community looks like. Right? So I went through a lot of content within their website, such as their educational philosophies and curriculum, their teaching professors, and most importantly, the student clubs and set blogs written by alumni to understand what their community looks like. And then I jotted down my strengths and my positives, and I picked those positives which will provide a unique perspective within the community, booth community. And that's how I chose that, okay, I can make a point that I will be a best fit to the booth community. Now, to address these two things or to convey these two things to my admission committee, the one and only way is through the essays, right? So I spent a lot of time in drafting those essays. And of course, with your support and guidance, I knew that I would get the best out of the essays. So, and it worked out. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your support in drafting those essays.
You're welcome. So this was the most challenging part of the application process? You think essays were the most challenging part of the application process?
It's most challenging, as well as I feel that's the most critical aspect of the application process, because that's a place where one can reflect their own nature, their strengths, their weaknesses, and their fit to the community. Yeah, so I feel essays was the most challenging part. But the other thing is, when I started the application process, I felt that I needed an additional pair of eyes so that I am getting the I am drafting the proper content for the essays, right? So um, when I wrote, so I was pretty confident that I can write essays without any grammatical issues, but I was kind of skeptical whether I'm conveying the right information for the essay questions in a meticulous manner. And it became evident based on the number of revisions we both had on those essays, right? So when I was looking at the initial draft of the essays and the final copy, I could feel that I wouldn't have done a great job without your support. That's what I felt after looking at comparing both those versions of the essay.
Yeah,
So
worked out, you know.
yeah, thank you so much in that aspect, actually, because you helped me to get my stories conveyed in a succinct manner. So that's something remarkable, and that's something I couldn't have done without your support. So thank you so much, ma'am, for that.
It's my job. I just did my job, and I enjoyed working with you. So now what would you advise other applicants, the prospective applicants who are facing this challenge of telling their story well?
Um, so some people might feel confident that they can deliver on their own. Yes, they can deliver, but still, as I said before, they need to have another pair of eyes to make sure that they are conveying the right information. So definitely they need uh, another person to review their essays, and it would be great if they can go for a person like you who has expertise in advising a lot of students. You have seen a lot of people, you know how to get the best out of each of the applicant. So it's better to work with you, so to get the best out of the applicant. And one other advice what I would give to future applicants is that please be honest in your application. Even if you have negatives, accept it and let them know, let the adcom know that, okay, you're working on those negatives. You need not have to be a perfect person. And even admission committee knows that. No, none of them can be a perfect person, right? So just be honest in your application and make sure that reflects in a positive way. And you're working on if you have any negatives. So that's kind of advice I wanted to give to people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a valuable advice. You know, authenticity and honesty. are
That's
essential ingredients of MBA application. And that's what
that's
admission committee members always emphasize.
yeah.
So, Shiva, you will be pursuing MBA along with your full time job and family responsibilities. So, you'll be traveling to Chicago every weekend. It's a tall order. So, how do you plan achieving this work life school balance? I would like to know that.
Yeah. So next 3 years is going to be definitely challenging, and I'm ready to face it with a smile. So the thing is, um, I'm I'm confident that I can manage a lot of things in parallel, because when I was doing my masters, I did manage my full time job. In addition to it, I was taking care of my pregnant wife and after that my newborn. So this
Mhm.
is not something new which will happen, but given both, I will be put into an hot seat, of course, with a lot more challenges. Um, I will be entering into an academia environment with a lot more competition. So I should make myself to stay on top of a lot of things. And procrastination is something I need to remove from my dictionary if I want to succeed. Now, said that, yes, I have to travel to Chicago every weekend. And so to me, doing something out of passion gives more energy than doing something which you are forced to do, right? I see the MBA as my passion. So I feel I won't feel tired enough going every weekend, commuting every weekend, because I wanted to do is that was my dream of doing MBA. But one thing I have to master is the time management. So once I'm back from Chicago, after the Saturday classes, so Sunday mornings, I need to make sure that I put on a best schedule for that particular week, and I have to make sure that I'm sticking to that schedule.
Right.
And and of course, I need to have some buffer for certain unprecedented events. For like my my little boy might expect me at any point of time, any point of that week, so I should have some buffer time.
Right.
But said that, I should definitely stick to the timeline, whatever I put in for that particular week.
Right.
Now, with a family to support, um, I am sure that I'll be put into a lot of different emotions. And so emotional intelligence is something I need to be good at, so that I'll be self-aware of things and so that I can balance things, including my health. Now, one last thing, um, is that, as I said before, the good thing about Booth is the flexibility of the curriculum. Right? So I can choose what I'm gonna take for that semester or for that particular quarter. So given the kind of commitment I have for work as well as for my family for that semester, I might even skip that semester or might take lesser course load. So that's the kind of flexibility I'm getting at Booth. So I'm hoping that I can manage and get it completed within 3 years. Hoping for the best.
You have done it in the past, you'll be able to do it now, especially because you're so passionate about it, and wish you
Yeah,
good
that's,
at that. Can you tell us something about your interests and hobbies?
um, so with my little boy around, so I like to spend some quality time,
Right.
enjoy the moment of its growing up years. So that's something I'm doing it on a full-time basis now. Besides that, I love to play tennis,
Mm-hmm.
and down the road, I want to become a professional scuba diver. So that's something in back of my mind.
You can see the picture of your toddler son.
Oh yeah, those memories are reminiscent, right? So every time when it does something naughty enough, we try to capture it, and we try to see those memories. So that's something we are blessed with. So that's one of that's some of our hobbies. And in addition to that, um, I look out for latest happenings and advances in this field of data analytics. And yeah,
Okay.
I'm an avid reader of The Economist, the weekly newspaper. So I love reading it. So those are my pretty much hobbies other than work and family.
Finally, as you know, COVID-19 has turned lives upside down globally. Given the current uncertainty created by the international health crisis, what challenges are you anticipating in your MBA experience?
Mm, so the one major aspect of doing an MBA is networking. So, and networking is good when you do it in class as well as during the on-site events. So that's something I'm going to miss this quarter. But said that, I'm going to take around 3 years to complete my MBA degree. So once the situation stabilizes by next year, I will get the opportunity again to meet a lot of people and build my network. So that's one aspect which I'm not getting right now because of COVID, but I wish that by next year things will get settled down and I get opportunities to interact with people and build my network. Now I want to project in a different, in a positive way as well. Now this COVID crisis is one of the unprecedented event in our history, right? Even during uh, the Great Recession, which happened in 2008, uh, the financial institutes were the ones which were impacted a lot. But right now,
Yeah, the book.
every industry and every company is widely and equally impacted. And to me, the impact is not completely felt. That's what I see. It's still evolving because we don't have an end to the coronavirus right now. And one of the odd thing is that even when the economic is not improving, it's going down, still the share markets are surging. That's something really odd and something interesting to watch. Now, the point is, when I'm doing an MBA at this juncture, I'm getting an opportunity to see what management, especially the senior leadership team across companies, are doing
Right.
to get their company out of this pandemic without losing a lot of revenue. And with the knowledge I'm getting at my MBA, I still can do some research to see what is something that's common among these industries that come out of this pandemic without much impact.
Right.
And one of the learning experiences that I'll be getting a lot more perspectives from my classmates
Right.
because that's something invaluable to get a lot more perspectives, right? So I see this is something positive out of this COVID because this is the first time the entire world is facing and no one knows how to get their company doing well. But by doing MBA, I feel I will have enough knowledge to introspect each of the management's decision. So that's how I see it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Like this is the best time to go for an MBA because the current MBAs will be ready to face these challenges. They are the future leaders who would know
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
handle post-COVID challenges. Yeah.
that's true. That's actually one positive thing I see out of the current situation.
About networking, about your opinion on networking, I would like to say that even virtually, you will be
Mhm.
getting a lot of opportunities to network with your classmates.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Totally true. But comparatively, I was telling that if it's been in class, the kind of networking opportunities I get will be even more. But definitely through virtual mode, I'm going to interact with different groups when I'm entering into final projects or any midterm work.
Right.
But the effect of meeting a lot of people is something I'm losing. And one other major thing what I felt was, so there are some set of a batch of people who will be leaving booth right now in that semester, like in this particular semester. And I lose an opportunity to meet those people who become an alumni by next year.
You will
So
be
that's
able
one
to them as well. Yeah,
thing.
you will find it. You'll be able to interact with more people virtually than you can anticipate right now. That's what
Oh,
I gather from the webinars of all the schools that I have been attending. So
oh, that should be so great if it happens actually.
for that. So
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. So if you think about MBA, is not only the curriculum or not the knowledge what you gain. You can gain knowledge out from outside, right? Without even
of
not
course,
in the classes, because Google is there. You can search for it. A lot of courses, but doing an MBA is to gain leadership skills. That's one major thing. Another major thing is networking. You need to know a lot of people to be a good leader in the future. So yeah, I'm hoping that things should get better. So
it will be a life-altering experience. And
yeah,
once
that's true.
you park at the end of your MBA, and
Hmm.
then you will tell me, yes, it was a life-changing experience.
That's true, man. I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah. So regarding the start of classes, have you received any updates from Chicago booth? Mm.
Well, yes, I'm receiving constant updates from Chicago booth. So yeah, 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks before, I received an email from them that this particular quarter, the autumn quarter, will be in hybrid mode. That's both in class as well as virtual. Then after a week of that communication, I received another email stating that only the students who are living in the state of Illinois can attend in classes, and rest others should go virtually. So that's the latest communication I got from the school. Now, now this situation is evolving. It hasn't matured enough, right? So I shouldn't be surprised enough to receive even more updates regarding this semester. But said that they are keeping us aware of each and every happenings
Yeah,
in and
yeah,
around the school.
of course. Yeah. The schools are doing a great job
Yes, definitely.
during
In
this.
addition, already they have a hectic schedule when a semester starts. On top of it, they need to take care of.
Yeah,
They have to make sure that they have proper measures so that student community is not getting COVID. So that's a lot of work, and hands down, they're doing a lot of work.
yeah, they're doing exceptionally great job. Shiva, is there anything that you think I should have asked? We have discussed a lot of things, but is there anything else you think I should have asked you?
Uh, Actually, I would like to share my experience about the interview process because that's something I didn't cover right in this
Go ahead.
in our conversation.
Go ahead.
So, so booth interview was the first and the last for me when it comes to MBA admissions because I haven't had an experience with any other MBA business school, any other business school. So, and at the same time, I know that's the one and only golden opportunity I've got, and I have to make sure that I'm utilizing it to my best, so that I'm getting that admit. Right. So, what I did was I went through a lot of forums and posts because that's a place where people post each and every question what's been asked as part of the interview, right? So I gathered all those posts. So finally, I got a list of around 42 to 45 questions, I think so, 45 questions from those posts. And those questions were a mix of about you, your strengths, your weaknesses, and pretty much it covered a lot of behavioral questions. So literally, for all those 45 questions, I prepared answers. Literally, I prepared and I rehearsed in front of mirror because as I said before, this was my golden opportunity. If this opportunity clicks out, I knew my life is going to change drastically. So this is a turning point in my life. So I wanted to utilize it the best. And I was actually interviewed by a second year student who was a part of that admissions panel.
Mhm.
And lucky enough, whatever he asked for was everything was covered as part of those 45 questions. So I was pretty enough, because one thing I was sure that even though I'm not giving a best answer, I shouldn't draw a blank for a question asked for. Right? At least I should give him some answer, which is not to be the best, but something which is relevant. So that's the reason I prepared that much. Now, said that, one crucial thing what I learned from those posts is that people regretted that they missed to ask the interviewer some questions, because when you tend to ask the interviewer back some questions, they will have an impression that, okay, you are really interested into their program and you really wanted that admit.
Right.
So for future MBA aspirants, in addition to your preparation of behavior questions, please have a list of some questions what you like to ask to the interviewer, and make sure that those are the questions which you can answer from looking at the website.
Right.
Ask questions so that you get their perspective about the courses, or what they wish to know before attending any MBA school. So ask those kind of questions so that they get an impression that you are really interested in that program. So be prepared, and yeah, do your best in the interview. That's what I learned, and lucky enough it worked out well for me. And yeah, it was a casual talk, but I knew that I did my best after having a rigorous preparation for the interview. So that's something I wanted to share to future aspirants.
Good. Good that you have shared your interview tips with the prospective applicants. It was really a pleasure talking to you and listening about your application experience and your passion for booth. So thank you so much for your time. I wish you good luck with your Chicago booth experience and a continued success in your career.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, you got the best out of me in this entire conversation. So that's something I need to appreciate you. And thank you so much for your wonderful service. As I said before, you have been one of my critical success factors in getting an admit to booth. And I wish you will be playing the same core role to all future MBA aspirants. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words and thank you for your wishes. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
Bye.